Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Bold and the Beautiful edition. Today is Friday. Yay! November the 4th, 2022. On a scale of 1 to 10, because of the ending, I'm going to give this one a 7.5. Let's just jump right into this. We see Finn and Steffi, and they are with Steffi is with our daughter, and Finn is there too. I guess they're tucking her into bed, and she's just asking them about the fashion. And they're telling her, and they're it's not much, y'all, but they're telling her about the dresses, and Steffi's gonna take her to work so she can see everything. Yeah, I mean, it's a cute moment. So then we see Finn and Steffi start talking, right? Because they put the children to bed and they start talking. And she tells him that everything went great, but Liam wasn't there. And he was like, why wasn't Liam there? She said, honestly, I think it's because of Thomas. But he was like, man. And she says, yeah, I mean, but Hope and Thomas work good together. They make a great team. And then she says, but you know what? We got the night to ourselves. So let's not even worry about other people. I said, good. Let's move on. So then we see Bill and Liam talking, and Brooke comes in and she said, Liam, why didn't you come to the show? It was Hope's big night. And so Bill said, because he didn't want to see Thomas with his hands all over his wife. So then they tell Brooke what happened, and Brooke is like, are you kidding me? I cannot believe that Hope let him, hug her. And he said, if you could have saw Hope's face when she was giving him all that praise. And she was adore. It was like she adored Thomas in that moment. That's what I heard. And he was like, and I just, he said, to keep the peace, I just left. And I still say Thomas should have stayed. But if you saw that happening in that moment, you should have stepped up. That's it. Like, but I get that he wanted to keep the peace, but keeping the peace would have been just walking away and, grabbing a back seat and just chilling out, not leaving. Or you could have just stepped up and said, hey, Hope, I just wanted to say on your big night, I don't know. I'm very conflicted when it comes to this, because on one hand, I see, because we know what's going on with Thomas. So I'm like, yeah, Hope is completely lost in the sauce when it comes to him. But on another hand, I'm like, Liam, you have, like, I see what you're saying. We all get what you're saying, but it was Hope's big night. And for Hope's big night, you got to step up. But I get it. So they just tell Bill, is just like, we got to figure out what to do. And he says, has she contacted you? And Hope hasn't contacted him. He said, get your butt over to Eric's. This is Bill to Liam, and go get her. And he says, if I see him with her, I just cause a scene and everything. And Bill said, Thomas is over there with your wife. He's over there at Eric's with your wife celebrating. You should cause a scene. You're being too laid back in this. But Liam is not that guy. And he wants to just chill out. He doesn't want, to be a big mess. And so he's just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So then Bill and Brooke go to the house because they leave Thomas, because she says she feels like he needs just time to think. And Bill says, I want to just jump in and take care of this myself, but I can't do it. So then they started talking about why she didn't go over to Eric's, and she said because Ridge would be there and it would just be awkward, especially since he left me, and then I don't know why he's left me, so it would just be awkward. And Bill was like, I know why he left you, because he's he's Ridge. He does whatever he wants to do. He discards people. He doesn't care. You deserve better than that. And she says, please, Bill. And I said, Brooke, after all this, like, girl, this whole year you have been deserving better than Ridge. But if you like him, I love it. So then they just, they just continue to talk and say, what are we going to do about this whole Thomas situation? So then over at the house, we see Zende, Donna, Eric, and Ridge, and they're all like, oh my gosh, the line was so great. Look at Thomas and Hope. They do make a good team. It's so great to see them working together and everything. And Donna says, I think Liam would have something to say about this, because they were just pouring all this praise onto Thomas and Hope and oh, they're so great together. Oh, they make the look at the family. It's so great to see them together as a family and all this. And Donna is just like, yeah, 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 that's good and all, but Hope is married. And so then they talk about I want to make a speech, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't really listen to that speech. I know at the end of it, he just congratulated Hope, and then Ridge makes a speech, and Ridge is such a jerk. I just can't stand him. He was like, I know we had, I was tough on you. I've been hard on you, but I just love the way you rose above it all and take, see my son for the man that he's becoming and not put him back, just keep him as the man he always, he was back then. I said, well, she shouldn't, but okay. And so they're all talking, and finally, uh, Thomas and Hope are talking as well, and Lil Douglas was there, and he was just so happy to have his parents together. And he says, "You see, he was like, y'all line was so great, and it was so beautiful." And he was like, "Just like your mom, it was inspired by her." So then Lil Douglas goes on, and it's just Hope and Thomas. Everyone else is left. They've done all these speeches. They patted each other down. It's just the two of them, and they're talking, and he's just telling her he's just so happy for her line, and how much he thought about her, like she's his muse. Y'all know I'm paraphrasing. She's his muse and everything, and he's just happy that she's giving him a chance to become a man, as with Douglas, and he's just happy. He's just happy she's there with him. And then she gets a phone call from Liam. So Liam calls her, and now, mind you, little Douglas is upstairs, but she tells him, "I want to put Douglas to bed." I said, "Baby, you got another child. You do have Beth. You realize that, right? Because you spending all your time over there." And that's another thing Bill and them said. Like, they were like, she doesn't see, like, she goes over there and spends the night. Which Thomas, when that first started, I mean Liam, when that first started happening, you should have put your foot down. And they're like, she just doesn't see how Thomas has slowly wormed his way in. He's playing the end game. He's been planning this for years. But anyways, she's talking to Liam on the phone, and of course she's upset. He didn't come to her showcase, her preview. And so he's like, I'm happy the show went well. And he tells her, he says, it's probably for the best I wasn't there, because he didn't want to cause a scene. Well, right now she can't hear this because she's upset with him. And so she says, I want to get put Douglas to bed because he's still awake. And then she says, and then we're gonna celebrate. Now, who are you celebrating with, Ma? Because it's only you and Thomas left. And this is where I don't agree with Hope. I don't care how mad you are at Liam. You take your butt home. Really, she shouldn't have never went over there in the first place. Your mama's at home. Liam is at home. Beth is at home. If you wanted to celebrate with Douglas, he could have came over there. And then if you wanted to celebrate with anyone else, they could have came over to your mom's place. Her place is just as big. So I don't understand. She, not only are you over at Eric's, but you've stayed past the point where everyone has left and it's just you and Thomas. This is the whole reason Liam didn't come to your show, ma'am. This is the whole reason. And so she's all upset on the phone talking about, I'm just going to stay. And he said, so you're going to celebrate just you and Thomas? And she said, yes. And Liam said, I told you so. I said, well, I mean, baby, Liam had me hollering. He said, I told you this is how it was going to go, that you were going to do all that petting on Thomas at the end of the show, and he was going to live out his fantasy, and then you were going to want to go over there afterwards and be all with Thomas. I told you this how it was going to work. And you sitting up in there and not believing me, and that's exactly what happened. And so then she just tells him, I don't want to get into this now. And he says, all right, I'll see you when you get home. I'll be here. And she says, all right, he tells her, I love you. She says, I love you back. And then that's the end of it. And then I'll talk about it later. And so then we go to Thomas. Now, did you notice that Thomas had his phone out, probably recording probably recording Hope's voice, because he's not done with that voice changer. I don't believe that for a minute. So, you know what? I don't feel bad for Hope. Now Thomas should have came to her showcase, but if she want, Liam should have came to her showcase. But if she wants to be this blind to Thomas, that's on her. And I saw the comments. I don't care about it being a fashion show. I don't want to see fashion show. Like, that's not my thing. If y'all like it, good, but that's not me. We can agree to disagree on some things. Also, I see both ways. I see why Liam wouldn't have wanted to be there. Thomas is rubbing this in his face, and Hope is acting blind to it, to his wife, blind to her husband's concerns as well. So I see why Liam didn't want to be there, but I still say Liam should have been there. You should have supported your wife. But I don't agree with Hope going over to the Forresters to celebrate, and you still want to celebrate after everyone is gone. Like, girl, please, you need to stop it. Just stop it. But y'all, that was the Bold and the Beautiful today. And then someone was asking, when do I think the whole thing will come out about CPS? After Hope gets with Thomas, that's when it's going to find out. She doesn't even know. Like, you're sitting here giving Thomas all his credit, and he's the one. He knew about your mama drinking, that Sheila did it. He called CPS and pretended to be your mom, and now he's about to use his voice app changer with you. He's going to leave Liam some kind of message. It is what it is. They want to be this silly about it. It is what it is. All right, guys, that was the Bold and the Beautiful today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It is the weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. And have a blessed weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.